Guys, it's Becca at So Darn Twisted again, just here with another one of my junk journal jargon busting videos where I'm talking through for beginners, supplies, materials, what things are called, what are they used for, because I know that a lot of the terminology is either not out there as clear information as to what things are called and what things are used for. So that's the aim of this video series, is basically to just give beginners a bit of a step up and being able to say, okay, I know what that is, that's what I need to buy, or oh, it turns out I don't really need that. So today, as your local friendly craft addict, do you have a moment to talk with me about glue? There are lots of glues, and as you can see here, I use a lot of different types of glues. And there is a good reason for this. As I touched on briefly in my last video, a lot of glues, PVA glue is effectively craft glue in the States, etc. So, and it says that it's suitable for things like wood and paper and textiles, and yeah, but it does have its limitations. Craft glue is great if you're gluing bits of paper together, if you're gluing a little wood shape onto something. Once you get into textiles, it's a bit hit and miss because not all textiles are created equally. So this is where we go into it a bit more. Now, if you're using printables that you've bought, or like, you know, the freebie printables like I have on my website, a lot of home printers, if you try to glue using craft glue, it will make the inks run and bleed and will ruin your beautiful project a lot of the time. It also has the downside that sometimes you need quite a bit to make it stick, which makes your card or your paper warp. And that is something I see people say, you know, what glue can I use to stop the paper from warping? And that is just literally moisture content, 90% of the time. There are other causes. That's a video for a different day. Today we are just talking about types of glue and what they're used for. So this little wondrous thing here, which comes, as I've mentioned in other videos before now, it comes in different types, different application types. This is possibly the most universal glue that I've personally come across, because it will stick paper and heavy card and wood shapes and everything, but I haven't found a fabric yet that it won't stick, which is amazing. But it is a gel, more of a gel glue than a liquid glue, so it's a bit easier to distribute. However, unlike craft glue, you don't get as much movement before your thing is fixed in place, because it does dry quite quickly. But it is absolutely fantastic for gluing lace onto things and things that you find that your craft glue is just not, you know, just not cutting it for. Glue sticks, they really do have their place. Again, if you're just sticking paper to paper, paper to card, that kind of thing, one tip I will give you is if you glue both surfaces and stick them together, you'll get a better bond with that. But again, it doesn't work for everything. I do find that glue sticks don't hold a lot of fabrics very well. I found that out the hard way, which is why I'm explaining it to you guys so you don't have to. Super glue also has its place, also better if you apply it to your two surfaces and give it a second and then put your two surfaces together, and then they will bond nicely. This will not work on anything that is incredibly smooth surface, because it needs a textured surface to get a really good seal on it. So you can't use it for like, I don't know, it won't stick some buttons and things like that if they're, you know, not complete, if they are completely smooth, sorry, on the back. Whereas this one does stick buttons, just saying. I mostly use super glue for putting on book corners onto journals, because sometimes the corners can be a bit bulky and it pushes the corners back out. So I put a little bit of glue on the fabric corners of the book, push my book corner on, and then just hold it for a couple of seconds, and that's it. It's set, it's done, it's not going anywhere. Whereas other glues, you're going to have to wait forever for it to dry. Tacky glue, useful again. This one, I don't know why, considering it says that it's great for trimmings and stuff, I really didn't find that this one worked well on fabric. So, you know, that's I think that one's probably a little bit of a hit and miss, and again depends on what fabric, but I didn't find it stuck things as well. I actually had more success sticking lace onto card with the PVA craft glue than I did with the actual high tack glue. Strange, I know. And now the crafter's all-time favourite, the hot glue gun. Now my daughter, oh bless her, she bought me this cordless one for my birthday last year, because I used to sit there screaming and shouting and swearing, and because, you know, the gun falls over because the cable's dragging on it. So rechargeable cordless, wonderful. And it is quite a dexterous tip on this one actually. A lot of the bigger ones, the tips are really bulky and you can't get detail work. But hot glue, as wonderful as it is for most things in crafting, it's not as great when you're junk journaling, because hot glue dries hard and thick and bulky, so it makes things lumpy, and it also obviously dries very quickly and doesn't always glue, again, really shiny surfaces that well. However, if you are making things like clusters out of ribbon and lace and fabric and that kind of thing, I absolutely use my hot glue gun for that, because the bulk of it doesn't matter. By its very nature, it's a cluster, it's going to be bulky, and this would take a heck of a long time to make if I was having to use even the gel glue and hold each piece down for, you know, okay, and now move on to the next strand. Whereas with the hot glue, it's press, it's done, next one, press, it's done. So, and it glues, this is a resin cast that I made and painted, and it glues that on absolutely brilliantly. That's not going anywhere. So yeah, hot glue really does have its place. So my husband always says that there is a glue for everything, and for once I think he might actually be right. So I hope that's been helpful. One thing I will actually just add, I use Yoo-hoo glue more often than not, but I have these with tacky glue in as well. But people ask me about these all the time on the videos. These are needle nose dispenser bottles. I get them in multi-packs from Amazon. They come with different colour lids on them, so you can identify glue. So if you've got different types of glue that's clear, or different types that are white, like high tack glue, PVA glue, craft glue, you know, you can know, oh, the red one, that's craft glue, you know, the blue one, that's tacky glue, fine. But I like the fine dispenser because it's really great when you're just trying to do detail stuff and you don't want tons of glue on there, you just don't need it. So yeah, Amazon, brilliant little things. So I think that's covered everything, no pun intended. As I say on all of these episodes, or will be saying on all of them, if it's helped you in any way, leave me a comment, let me know, so that I know it's not a pointless endeavour on my part. I'd love it if you subscribed, because A, it means that I know these are actually relevant and people want to see them. B, it makes me do the little happy chair dance. So yeah, I would love it if you were to subscribe, which also means, bonus for you, you get notified when the next ones come up, as well as the tutorials. I try to put 1 or 2 tutorials out a week for junk journaling, often aimed at beginners or using scraps, things like that. So I hope you'll join me for some more. Bye.